Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We are here at the MavWar Unity Hype 2018 tournaments. This is game 13, Infected Minds versus Yaeger Bagels, playing on the Parish. I am here today with xbye, our streamer as usual, and TechnoBeaver. How are you doing there, Techno?
Oh, I'm doing great. Thanks for having me on. I hope it'll be a fun time. I hope we're going to have a great time. This is going to be a great game.
It is worth mentioning that while both of these teams are 0-1, they've lost those games by, I believe, like around 200 points or so. So it's not at all that, these teams are, the weaker of their group or anything. I think both matches were extremely close, and they only lost like by the skin of their teeth. So it should be a pretty close game. Should be very entertaining. We are going to go live right now. The first hit for Yaeger Bagels is a Spitter Jockey Charger Smoker. That's a nice 3-1, a lot of damage potential going out for this. We're going to see how how these survivors can take this first hit.
Survivor's playing very slow right now, still kind of hanging out in the safe room. Spitter goes in, gets taken out. Ellis pushes out of the Spitter so he doesn't get trapped. Looks like they're trying to rush for it, but the tanks come in.
Yep, looks like that tank is going right into it. We're going to kick this over, I believe, to a Yaeger Bagels war room right off the bat. So,
Excuse me!
slight hiccup there. It appears Yaeger Bagels is not in their Discord chat that we made for them. That's my bad. I did not look beforehand. Regardless, they did take that tank with very minimal damage going on, and they have just now crowned the switch with no problems. So, Infected Minds took that tank really well. What did you think of that tank fight, Techno?
They really didn't lose too much damage. You've got Coach at half health, but other than that, pretty good health for the survivors. Ellis got hit with a jockey, which I'm surprised by, but he handled that pretty well. The teammates were able to get it off. It looks like the Infected are going to be setting up on some roofs right now, waiting for the survivors to push through this choke point. Playing it a bit slow and cautious. I think they know. They're on the roof. Boomer goes in, gets taken out.
Immediately, there was a jockey pre-spawn. The Charger and the Spitter are still waiting. However, it looks like Infected Minds are going to push on through the choke point. The Charger does get a nice double charge, landing Rochelle in some spit. That's going to be a nice amount of damage onto her. Regardless, map 1 is a very short map. I wouldn't be surprised. I believe that Yaeger Bagels has maybe 1 or 2 hits left before they make it to the safe room. So overall, I think Infected Minds has handled this first map very well. As I said before, though, map 1 is map 1. You can, make this perfectly, with no survivors even taking their kills, as Infected Minds has, and they may still end up losing the match. So we're going to see if Yaeger Bagels can make the same amount of bonus as survivors. I think the Infected were a bit confused there. Obviously, they sacked the Spitter right at the start of the tank fight, which of course was the smart play. But in that tank fight, I believe he was a little bit confused as to who he was going after. When you're playing as Infected, it's important to communicate with your tank, because when you're playing as a tank, you can get some tunnel vision. You tend to get focused on one survivor and start to ignore what the rest of the team is doing. Regardless, we're going to see how Infected Minds handles this Infected tank fight.
Absolutely, as we start the game, survivors again playing it very slow. They're looking at the roofs to see if anyone's going to try and spawn in early. Looks like Ellis just announced commons. Infected setting up on the rooftops again. Oh, looks like the tank is going to spawn in. They're rushing right in. Jockey hits Nick. He gets taken out right away, though.
Yep, we now have a tank up in the hands of Infected Minds. Christian looks like he's going to hang out right near this truck. He's going to keep his eye on that car in case the survivors try to push him. But looks like he's waiting for some good support. Of course, he does have a Charger and a Smoker. A third capper would be ideal. As soon as that tank goes in, we will take you to an Infected Minds war room, and I have confirmed they are in the Discord, so we should not have any issues this time.
Their third survivor, or Infected, Jesus, is ready to spawn in.
Ellis looking to get some chip, and the tank is in. We're going to take it right over to a war room.
I'm making noise.
Nice. Good job.
Nice.
Wait, hold it. Hold it.
Behind you.
Wait. Hey, you guys ready?
Yeah.
Let's go now. Let's go now.
¿Cómo los mataron? Eran dos.
Good tank.
No, we couldn't spawn together. No pudimos spawnar.
And we are back. That was a tank in the hands of Infected Minds Christian. He was able to get 2 in caps onto Archer and to Pixie, but the survivors were able to finish him off. The support, the Infected support was not really there for him, but 2 in caps is still better than the last tank that we had.
That's right, 2 in caps is better than none. Looks like the Infected are going to get right back on their feet, starting to spawn in, or not spawn in, ready to spawn in. Still got the Witch up. I wonder how they're going to deal with that.
They do have a Smoker and a Charger. Those are pretty good for the Witch. The Smoker is already spawned next to this Witch. He's going to try to get a pull. If I were the survivors, I may just go stick to the right and just ignore that Witch altogether. Regardless, the Smoker is going to get a pull onto Nick. That Witch is aggro, but onto the wrong survivor. The Charger gets a charge onto Nick into Spit. That's going to be a nice amount of damage. That Witch also got crowned somewhere in the middle of that. Really nice save by whoever aggroed that Witch.
Absolutely, very, very good play from the survivors. Nick did get messed up. He's very low on health, but he's still got pills. Boomer goes in. Nick gets taken out, or hit with the Boomer. Common swarming all over him. Survivors trying to help him out as best they can. No other Infected are really in the area spawned up, so it's just going to be a matter of them dealing with this head now.
Yep, the Infected now have a Charger Hunter Jockey trying to slow them down with that single boom, but it may not have been enough. The survivors are now in the back of this restaurant area. They're going to try and push this alarm car without activating it. Nice distance bounce onto Ellis, but gets cleared immediately. The Jockey is also spawned in, tries to land on Ellis, gets M2'd and shut down. The Charger is now going in, going to free charge, but whiffs and misses. The Spitter also goes in, doesn't hit anything, and that should be the safe room for the survivors.
Yep, great second round there. No real issues for the survivors other than 2 in caps earlier from the tank. What did you think of that round?
Well, both tank fights were pretty comparable. Nice amount of damage, but nothing disastrous. Luckily for both these teams, the Witch did not behave super crazily, so she didn't get any weird in-caps, which we have seen before in this tournament. I would say, like I said before, the first map is a bit of a sort of sets the tone. Infected Minds seems to be a little bit more like a bit more of the cohesive team. Their Infected play was a little bit better. Their Survivor play was much better, with baiting out those hits and whatnot. But we're going to see what Yaeger Bagels can put together. As I said before, both of these teams are 0-1, which means that they are both the losing teams going into this match. But I would not say that it was as a fault of their team play whatsoever. I think, if I remember correctly, I did cast the game between Infected Minds and Coach Dave's, and Infected Minds had the lead for most of that round, for most of that match, whereas Yaeger Bagels did lose to Warriors of Heaven. But I would say they're pretty comparable in terms of skill and cohesiveness. So we are going live. The first hit is going to be a Hunter, Boomer, and a Smoker. No Spitter for either of those Hunters is a bit disappointing, but there is a nice amount of separation potential for this first hit. We do have one Hunter pre-spawned in, standing up on top of the roof. He's not making any noise, however. The other Hunter is looking to get a spawn behind this white van. That Smoker's going to spawn in, try to get a pull from the police car. Both Hunters go in. A double boom lands. Those Hunters land onto Nick briefly, but overall, all these Infected get shut down. Very minimal damage going out. That boom is going to try and walk it in, get some sort of proxy, but gets shut down immediately.
Very good first Infected play. The survivors pushing forward. Of course, the double boom did go in, but doesn't really seem to be too big of an issue for the survivors. They're going to take the left side of the park, heading down straight in as we get the Infected to start spawning in.
Yeah, big open area. This going left through this park is now the most common strat. The Infected now have a Jockey, Smoker, Spitter, Hunter. It's very hard to make any kind of hits happen in this big open area near this gazebo where the survivors are hanging out. Looks like they're going to try and hit them as they exit the park through this nice little archway area. And we do have a tank at 32%. I believe that may be before the event, but I'm not exactly sure.
Well, either way, tank spawns in right away, actually, okay. Well, it looks like the infected are just going to start to spawn in right now. Hunter going in, looking for a kill. He doesn't manage to land anything. Jockey goes down on Ellis, gets taken out right away. Spitter goes in as well, but he gets...
Yeah, we do have the tank up in the hands of Yaeger Bagels player Amethyst. Looked like they were trying to work that dumpster in, but immediately gave up. It's pretty hard to get it through this area. The survivors are already trying to get some chip through these bushes and in here. Looks like that tank is going to wait on some good support. He's already got a boomerang, a smoker, and a jockey. We will take it over to an infected war room as soon as that tank goes in.
Reloading.
Trying to throw some rocks right now, gets stuck on 3, doesn't land anything. Infected moving into good positions.
Yeah, it looks like Amethyst is opting to make this a rock tank. That is the pretty standard play for this area. It's really bad idea to walk this tank in on a big open area. Looks like we can try and reposition. We're going to take this over to a Yaeger Bagels infected war room right now.
Yeah, I needed that there.
Fuck, I got
Some of it.
thanks.
And we are back. That was Yaeger Bagels tanks in the hands of Amethyst, absolutely getting mowed down by infected mines. He did get a proxy boom onto Nick, which stumbled him and got a single punch onto Hernandez, but that was all she wrote. Hernandez was not slowed. He was able to juke that tank out and run away. I mean, one punch for a tank, that's pretty disappointing, but that is a very difficult area to make anything happen.
Absolutely. I mean, I don't really know what's going on there. I think Tank should have waited for maybe more rock plays, maybe for a better plan, because they really just didn't seem coordinated at all. They just kind of ran in, and then the other infected just kind of seemed to do whatever was best for that situation. But looks like the infected are going to spawn in on top of the roof. Ooh, Smoker goes in. Charger, Hunter also goes in. Hunter and Spitter go on Rochelle. Spitter gets taken out. So does the Charger.
Pretty minimal damage. This is sort of what I saw last match with Infected Minds. They are a really patient team. They like to bait out their hits and take things nice and slow, and it worked out fairly well for them. Of course, they did end up losing their last match on, I believe, the Dark Carnival it was. So we're going to see how Infected Minds handles this Horde event. This is a running event, and I don't believe it's finite until you deactivate that alarm, which means that they're going to have to pick up the pace. This may be Yaeger Bagel's chance to make something happen. We do have a double boom going out, and a smoker and a jockey going in. The smoker gets killed, the jockey gets shut down, and that spitter free spits onto nothing. Another hit taken very well by Infected Minds.
Absolutely, but that spitter is going to slow them down, and time is very valuable in the section of the map. Got to get that alarm. And it's just chargers and smokers and jockeys very valuable in this section, because you can separate survivors so quickly and ruin all flow that they have, although momentum gets shut down with one swift attack. So it's going to be really interesting to see what happens as they continue. Double boom goes in. Nick and Coach. Charger goes in as well. Misses. Very bad play from the Charger. Smoker also tries to go in. Doesn't get anything. Just goes to high. Oh, managed to get Alice. Yeah, but taken out right away. And that's going to be it for that attack. Not very good, but that double boom was great. Helped slow them down, organize them.
The distance on that arc boom was incredible. We do have the witch. She is spawned up past the event. She's in the bus stop area. We'll get to her in a minute. Another double boom going out onto Infected Minds, but without any real specials to capitalize on this. I mean, more commons during this Horde event is not really a big deal. We do have a Hunter hanging out below them, trying to get some sort of pounce. Looks like she's going on the Coach. Does manage to land for a second. Another Hunter landing onto Nick. Both get cleared. There's a bit of spit going out onto Coach as well. Hernandez is in the yellow, but they still got 4 kills for him. No big deal. Looks like this Charger is going to push up ahead and try to make something happen with this Witch.
Absolutely. If they can get something here, then this might be a great opportunity for more infected. Charger spawns in right away, but he's going to get taken out right away. They also managed to crown the Witch, which was very impressive. That Charger was very close by, and they were concerned with that. Looks like we got the other infected starting to spawn in. Boomer goes in, gets taken out, but does manage to boom onto 2 people, and it's just a matter of them running for the safe room now at this point. Smoker goes in on Coach, gets taken out right away though.
Yeah, Infected Minds have taken this map extremely well. They played You know, they played it slow, they played it smart, and Yaeger Bagels showing a bit of frustration there, I think, with sending that tank in with, I mean, not a lot of support and these staggered hits throughout this Horde event area. They're going to have to pull it together if they want to stop Infected Minds, because if they're right there going, they're going to be making some obscene amounts of bonuses. If Infected Minds, as I mentioned before, they do seem to be the more patient team. If they can maybe play Rock Tank a little bit more, be a little bit more, you know, stick to that plan a little bit, land some rocks, get some, you know, specials in there, the tank fight may go much better for them. And of course, there is that witch right past the Horde event. She's in a fairly decent spot for some sort of charger or smoker play. They could get an incap with that, which could, you know, give them a nice amount of lead, assuming that Yaeger Bagels doesn't make it to the safe room with 3 green survivors as Infected Minds did.
Absolutely. Well, survivors right now taking it very slow, just trying to clear out any common. Infected spawning on the roof, it looks.
Looks like to be that way. Both hunters are opting to spawn on the roof. This boomer is going to look for some sort of arc boom from the balcony on the building right above Coach's head. And the smoker is going to try to get a pull from this trash can. All the special spawning in. Double boom going on onto Nick. The smoker pulls Nick very briefly. A hunter lands onto Coach but gets killed immediately. The smoker gets a repull onto Rochelle, but gets cleared. Pretty comparable damage going out. Not much to be said, but Infected Minds did spawn in, you know, their spawns were, you know, really synchronized, which I think is key when you're playing as Infected. Regardless, the survivors are going to push through here into the park area through this gazebo. They're going to grab these Suzies, and there's a golf club there for them as well. Going to clear out these commons. We do have a Boomer, Hunter, Spitter, and a Jockey for the Infected. Looks like they're going to go in right now.
Hunter tries to get something, doesn't land anything. Jockey also trying to get on Nick, who is currently boomed, doesn't get anything either. Spitter throws his spit out, doesn't seem to land on anything. They're common going in, and now the Spitters just make an act of desperation for taking out in the gazebo.
Yeah, big horde coming at them, but there's nothing to capitalize on it. Rochelle went ahead and spawned that tank up in the hands of Infected Minds Captain Host. He's going to start trying to work in this dumpster. Amethyst was not able to do when she tried it, but we're going to see if Host can work this hittable in. Doesn't look like it. That dumpster went way up onto the highway. Rochelle is already getting some chip in for that tank. Looks like Infected Minds are just going to have to work. We're going to see now if they opt for their tank rock or if they just decide to go straight in.
I would say it's better to try and get some rock hits, seeing how Yaeger got shut down as Infected last time with the tank. I think they know, if Infected Minds know how they play, then they can handle this really well. But it does look like the tank is just trying to get into a better position right now. Ooh! Other Infected going in. Boomer tries to get something, doesn't land anything. Smoker goes in as well. Not very good support for the tank. He can't really do anything with that, and he's already lost almost 75% of his health.
Yeah, Host definitely seems committed to this tank. He went all the way out and around to avoid as much chip as he possibly could, but as you mentioned, this tank is down to, I believe, 5,700 HP. We do have some spectators in here messing around, but it looks like that tank is going to go right in. We're going to kick this over to an Infected Mind port.
Nick.
Nice. One more. Oh, very good. Good.
And we are back. That was the Infected Minds tank in the hands of Team Captain Host. He was able to get some nice damage onto Nick, but no in-cap. He is now fully bleeding, but they do have 3 green survivals on 3 pills. A bit better than Yaeger Bagels. We can see the commitment to the rock tank being a little bit more patient, waiting for some better support. Paying off for Infected Minds just a bit.
Yeah, only a bit. That park area is hard to play as a tank. If you don't have a fully coordinated, it's not gonna get done. And you know, oh well, hold on. Triple boom goes in. 3 survivors. Smoker goes out, and a Spitter trying to attack Nick. Doesn't really manage to land it, but all the survivors are split apart right now. We still got a Smoker up. See if he can do anything. He's gonna have to wait for more Infected to spawn in, but very good triple boom there.
Yeah, interesting hiccup there. No Yaeger Bagels, none of them covering the air. That was a very long drop for that boomer. Seemed like an easy pop for me, but they did just get through a tank fight, you know, taking an almost in cap, which may have distracted them a bit. Regardless, the Infected do have a Boomer, Charger, Smoker, Hunter. That Smoker's going to get a pull from the back. Charger and Hunter going in, but not landing, getting shut down. That Boomer is going to land a nice quad boom onto them.
Wow.
That should slow them down just a bit. This is sort of what I was expecting to see. Infected Minds, you know, it's not a huge difference, but they are just a little bit more coordinated, a little bit more organized with their hits and their survivor play.
Whoever was that, very impressive. I did not think he was going to be able to manage that quad boom. But, he did, and looks like we've got a Hunter, Smoker, and Charger coming in. They're trying to get good spawns right now. They're going to try and meet up probably at the alarm, I would say. Smoker just spawning behind a fence right now. And 2 more spawning up near the alarm area right now. Smoker goes in, manages to land on Coach, doesn't do anything. Ellis gets a lot of damage with a Spitter and a Hunter and almost a Charger too.
Yeah, Infected Minds chipping away at that health bonus just a little bit. Amethyst is down to, I believe, 40 HP, no pills for her. But Archer and Sheep do have 2 pills themselves, and they have a nice amount of health. They are going to deactivate that alarm. This horde is mostly done. However, the Witch is up, as I mentioned, in the same spot, right near that bus station area. If Infected Minds can organize some kind of hit there, they could get maybe 1 in cap. A Boomer does land onto Coach. Smoker pulls Rochelle. Jockey lands onto Nick, trying to drag him forward, but all those Infected get shut down. Looks like Nick is going to run forward, trying to crown this Witch immediately before Infected Minds has anything to spawn next to her. Probably the smart play. Spitter trying to slow him down, but Nick does manage to aggro that Witch. Let's see if he can get this draw crown. The Witch is going in, taking a weird path, and she lands the in cap onto Nick. This is exactly what I was talking about. Seemed like a fairly easy draw crown, and somehow the Witch managed to land.
Yeah, very, very weird Witch play there, but the Infected are going to be able to start spawning in right now. Triple Boom goes out. The other Infected have a way to go in now. Charger and Hunter tries to go in. Hunter manages to land on one. Charger does as well. And Smoker just trying to pull away Ellis. He gets it, but he gets taken out by Coach.
Yeah, Amethyst is down to the yellow. Archer is the only one with pills left. Sheep and Archer still have a nice amount of health bonus. Definitely a lot of disorganization after that Witch. I think, you know, who was it? Pixie made the right call, running forward, trying to get that Witch before anything could spawn near her. You know, got the aggro. The Witch was going for her, but she took a really weird zigzag path, and I guess Nick just, you know, wasn't expecting that. Got a very silly in cap, and that's a really tough break for Yaeger Bagels. That's not what they needed right now when they're already behind. Regardless, they are going to make it to the safe room. That last hit did not make a ton of damage. And, you know, the point difference is not massive. We've got about, what is that? I'm trying to do some quick math here. I think 700, 600 point difference.
I mean, not impossible to come back. They could take it all back really well in the next map or the map after that, but it's just going to come down to how they handle these crescendo events. You know, with the cemetery next, you've got full park, like car park full of alarm cars. I think it's going to be really important how they play that, especially with the sewer area before that. If they can manage to get like 1 or 2 survivors or manage to hit an alarm, you know, it could be all over for IM.
Absolutely. This third map of the parish is pretty brutal with the sewer, the car park. I mean, it's pretty hard to make it to the safe room with your entire team intact, let alone, you know, getting some nice amount of bonus. This could be a nice opportunity for Yaeger Bagels. There's a lot of points on this map, and if Infected Mind keeps playing this slow and steady pace, as much as I like it, as I mentioned before, this is a long map. There's a lot of difficult choke points. They may just stumble, and, you know, 1 bad choke is all it takes to turn things around in Left 4 Dead 2 versus. Regardless, we do have Yaeger Bagels as the Infected. We've got a Smoker, Jockey, Charger, Spitter. Looks like that Smoker's going to get a pull already. Charger and Jockey going in. The Charger whiffs. Jockey gets shut down. Free spit goes on to nothing. The Smoker gets a brief repull onto Hernandez, but that is all she wrote.
Yeah, not a very good first play, of course. Nick does lose a little bit of health, but that wasn't really worth it. Nothing else happened. Survivors all pretty good. And they're going to be able to push forward with no resistance if you come way.
Yep, Yaeger Bagels now have a Boomer, Jockey, Charger, and a Spitter. I may just go in with this right now. We do have a 40% tank. I believe that's going to be out next to the RV of this map, if I remember correctly. It looks like this Boomer is going to try and spawn below. Infected Minds once again playing very patiently, trying to bait this out. See a lot of coordination here. See how Coach is blocking this weapon room. Ellis is moving forwards, then jumping immediately back, trying to get something to spawn near the bus, and it pays off for him. That Boomer goes in and gets popped immediately. So we do have the Charger and the Spitter going in. The Charger manages to land. Jockey is looking for some kind of last-second hit onto Nick. He does get it. It's going to be a ton of damage onto Hernandez. Slight hiccup, and this is sort of what I was just talking about earlier. You know, as nice as it is to see a team be as patient, as coordinated as Infected Minds, you know, if they keep making mistakes like that on these chokes, the momentum of the match could shift rapidly in favor of Yaeger Bagels.
Absolutely, and the survivors are split 2-on-2 right now with a Smoker and a Boomer and a well, they've all come back together, never mind. But we do have a Smoker and a Spitter and a Charger coming out. They're all going to be spawning around the RV area near the little garage. See what happens here. Boomer spawning on top of the roof.
Yeah, your Bagels do have a Charger Spit. If they can land another one onto a different survivor, or maybe just in-cap Hernandez, that would put their tank in a much better position. You know, when you've got one survivor bleeding, you can play a bit more patiently. It's that much easier to catch them and get an in-cap and have your specials go in. But Infected Minds, they're not showing any sort of impatience to taking this very slowly, you know, clearing all these commons around this RV area. Looks like they plan to fight the tank in this area here. It looks like the Infected are going to back off a little bit and try to spawn in this house. Hernandez is going to push forward, try and bait out some hits. Going to clear those commons out. Very methodical.
Taking it extremely slowly. Smoker spawns in, manages to grab Nick away. Charger trying to spawn in as well, manages to grab Nick as well. Spitter going in as well. Boomer hits. Ellis is down.
My lord, that Charger landed an incredible double charge. Host went flying and just landed, in-capping himself right in front of the RV. This tank is going to go in immediately, as I would expect. We're going to take this over to a Yaeger Bagels war room.
Alright,
Recommitting now.
Nice. You ready to help him? Hunter, help me, dude. Okay. That works. He's got the kill.
You shouldn't have.
We are back. That was the Yaeger Bagels tank. Team captain for Infected Minds. Host is dead. Hernandez is down in a really bad spot, way in there in the corner. Christian in control. They're going to try and get him up, although we do have a Jockey trying to get a jump onto Rochelle. It does land. Smoker pulls Coach. Infected Minds falling apart just a little bit. That was a really unfortunate double charge. I mean, I'm not really sure what happened there. I think maybe Host may have jumped just before that Charger hit him or something, because the hang time as he, you know, went upwards and arced and landed right in front of the trailer was ridiculous.
Yeah, he went absolutely flying. I turned around, he was gone all of a sudden. Double boom goes out onto Coach. Rochelle following close behind. Looks like the other Infected are going to try and spawn in the abandoned building. Really important to see how they handle these three survivors left. Ellis, of course, is dead. He died from the tank attack. Two Hunters go out onto Coach and Rochelle.
That's a wipe.
That's a wipe. That's it. It's over. This is what we were talking about. Anything change in Left 4 Dead 2 versus? I think Infected Minds just handled this way too slow. They let things go on. They were too safe, too cautious. You got to take a risk every once in a while, and they just didn't push.
Taking risks, and that's exactly what I think Yaeger Bagels did. They tried, you know, a lot of really ballsy Infected hits here. It didn't work out for them in the first two maps, but it definitely worked out for them here. And I think, you know, this is just sort of, we're seeing the difference in, you know, play styles here. Infected Minds, they really shine when they can play slowly and bait out the Infected, and Yaeger Bagels like to be very aggressive with their Infected, get lots of, you know, separations. And, you know, once they got that separation, once that smoker pulled Nick, I mean, things went downhill for Infected Minds so incredibly fast. Regardless, this is a big opportunity for Yaeger Bagels to make a ton of bonus if they can take the lead in this, make some really good distance. The Infected Mind smoker is already up looking for a pull from the roof of this safe room. They do have an identical hit, Charger Jockey Smoker Spitter. Looks like that smoker's going to go pull onto Nick, gets cleared, the Jockey gets M2'd, but the Charger does land briefly. Jockey lands on the Coach. Smoke lands onto Nick just for a second, but looks like he was outside of that spit puddle. Pretty comparable damage to the Infected Minds as survivors.
Yeah, pretty much same amount of damage. A little bit more, I think, two survivors, but again, not very good for first hit. That is a difficult area to start out with, even the Infected do have left. Looks like we've got a Boomer, a Charger, and a Jockey going in. Yaeger Bagel gonna be splitting apart a little bit. L's pushing forward onto the bus right now, and they're catching up right now. They all are spawning in. Charger on the roof, misses his charge. Spitter goes in, gets taken out right away as well. Jockey misses his jump. Very bad play. Infected Mind player. Not a whole lot of coordination. They all missed all of their attacks.
Yeah, Infected Minds, I'm sure, are rattled just a bit by that tank fight and that last-second wipe they got. We've got to pull things together because, as I mentioned, Yaeger Bagels are the much faster team. They like to play really aggressively, and if Infected Minds keep showing this kind of weakness, Yaeger Bagels can really run away with this lead. I mean, this is a big map, and I think Yaeger Bagels is much better suited for this. Regardless, we do have the tank up for Infected Minds in the hands of Control. Yaeger Bagels are going to take this way back to the bus, maybe even to the safe room area, although there does a single boom land onto Ellis. That Jockey gets a last-second pounce onto Coach. That's exactly what they need. Don't let them take that safe room. That's going to be an in-cap. Control is going to go ahead and in-cap him. I mean, Yaeger Bagels had the right idea pushing to the safe room, but they made a really silly mistake, and Infected Minds was able to capitalize. There's the Hunter onto Coach right now. It's going to finish him off, and now Infected Minds Control can play, you know, at his leisure. This is exactly what I was talking about. Now that you've got a bleeding survivor, this tank can really take his time. He can throw those tank rocks, and we've already seen how much that Yaeger Bagels hates to sit around and wait for the Infected to make the first move.
Absolutely, they are going to fall back towards the safe room area just to get a little more distance and a little more cover for themselves. Tank still trying to throw some rocks, but they are getting skeeted out of the sky. Hunter goes in, trying to get Ellis right now, it appears, jumping all over the place to avoid attack. Smoker goes out, manages to catch Nick. Ooh, Hunter gets heated as well. Again, still throwing his little rocks.
Yeah, a little bit of damage going out onto Amethyst, but they do have 3 green survivors, 3 pills. I mean, they've lost a survivor in the exact same place where Infected Minds did. But if Yaeger Bagels can stick to their guns and maybe ace the tank without taking a ton of damage, they still have an opportunity here. But unfortunately for them, Infected Minds, as we saw in the last 2 maps, their infected play is just a little bit more coordinated, I would say. Looks like Control is going to take this truck. Boomer's going to go and get a single proxy onto Rochelle. Looks like the tank may be committing with this. They're going to take this over to an Infected Minds war room.
Already spawned, man. I was already spawned. Sorry. Yours almost 100%. It's fine. Just one more.
I got this one. Take it if you want.
Yeah, just finish him. Good job. That's
Nice tank, guys. Oh god, I'm getting juked.
that's you, man. That's you. Nice jockey.
¿Sabes?
That was crazy.
¿Sabes qué fue lo que los cagó, güey?
No.
And we are back. That was Infected Minds tank in the hands of Control, securing a wipe very early in the map. It looked a little bit shaky for Infected Minds, but they were able to hold on to this lead. Very disappointing for Yaeger Bagels, but the point difference is still not enormous. It's only, I believe, about 800 points or so. And as much as map 3 can be, a bit of a swing map, it tends to change the pace of the map where we almost saw it happening. The finale of the parish is still, it's the finale of the parish. I mean, everybody who's ever played a Left 4 Dead 2 game on there knows what an absolute, just circus that map can be. Regardless, we are going to have Infected Minds once again playing as survivors. They're going to have Yaeger Bagels is going to have a Hunter, Boomer, Spitter, 2-2. Not great spawns for this area. And once again, you know, when it's not such a big map like Map 3, Infected Minds, I think, can play more at their pace, which means that, once again, I would say the advantage is in their favor right now. We do have both Hunters pre-spawn, but they're standing, not making any noise, going to look to spawn from these rooftops. And looks like they're going to try to get, you know, obviously the idea is Hunter pounces into Spit. One lands onto Rochelle, the Spit goes down, and this Boomer's going to try and get some sort of proxy or Arc Boom, but he gets popped immediately. I mean, very minimal damage going out, and once again, we're just seeing Infected Minds playing so patiently, managing to bait out those hits. And Yaeger Bagels, I mean, I hate to fault them for it, but they really are just kind of falling for it every single time.
Just desperation plays too. You saw that Spitter try to block them off the Spit by running the doorway, but it doesn't work. They just get taken out each time. But either way, they are going to start to be able to spawn. We've got a Jock Charger and a Boomer here. Looks like they're going to be trying to spawn in on the upper stairway and roofs. But again, Infected Minds, they like to take it nice and slow, so I think they're going to be prepared for this. I don't think they're going to have any issue with the streets.
Yeah, Infected Minds clearing out all the commons on this street. They are so methodical. I really love to see this kind of play. And looks like they're planning on taking this tank out here in this area. We do have a 33% tank that's going to be fairly early into the map, and I would definitely take it out here rather than inside. We do have the Boomer jumping in, gets a single boom onto Ellis. Hunter lands onto Coach. Charger's going in, doesn't manage to land onto Nick. Nice juke. We do have a lot of Horde going out, but that's another hit taken fairly well. Christian took a nice amount of damage. I think he's down to 60 HP or so, and Infected Minds are going to spawn that tank. The tank is up in the hands of Yaeger Bagels' team captain Archer. We're going to see what he manages to do with this, and Infected Minds still working on clearing some of this Horde out. Yaeger Bagels, Archer's trying to get a rock out, but it gets dodged fairly easily. He's not going to be able to land anything. They've got that balcony to cover them. No need to even skeet those rocks.
If he's smart, he's going to wait for his Infected team to get into a better position, because right now they just don't seem to be in. Hunter tries to go for a pounce, but misses up here. So maybe he's trying to get into a better position. I don't know. But either way, we do have a Boomer as well, so it'd be smart for the Boomer to try and go and distract them. But oh, looks like the tank's going to commit.
Nice double boom going out. We're going to take this to a Yaeger Bagels effect war room right now.
Melee. Nice. You got that, Archer? Keep going. Help him, Jock. Wait, Archer, I'll be up in 2 seconds. If you get that down, I can wipe.
We are back. That was the Yaeger Bagels Infected tank in the hands of team captain Archer. This Charger is going to land on Rochelle. Can her teammates clear it before they get it? They just barely managed to clear it, but then a smoker pulls Rochelle at the last second. I don't think they'll be clearing that. Really clutch play by Yaeger Bagels. He had a great proxy boom, and team captain Archer played that tank extremely well. Landed a double punch from behind. Both those survivors trying too hard to DPS him. And, I mean, absolutely fantastic. This is exactly what Yaeger Bagels needed. Can they secure a lead this time, however?
I think they can. If they're prepared for Infected Minds and how they like to play, then they'll know that they like to play a little slow. They know to play very safe and cautious. They like to set up a lot, but it's just going to be, will they learn from mistakes? As we have the same 4 Infected start to spawn in. Boomer, 2 Hunters.
Yeah, and this map is not really as conducive towards a lead as it is for Infected Minds. We got both Hunters going out, one landing onto Ellis into Spit. That's going to be a nice amount of damage onto him. We do have Rochelle getting hoarded, but pretty minimal damage going on. As I was saying just a second ago, this street area where we fight the tank, I mean, it's kind of a coin flip. I mean, the Infected it's very easy to get a corner as a tank, but it's very hard for your specials to give you some support. So it's really going to come down to, I think, Infected Minds. How coordinated can they be? How much help can they give their tank? Because you don't want to let Yaeger Bagels run away with this lead. This is a much shorter map, and I think Yaeger Bagels is much better suited to take the lead on this one if they take it nice and fast. We do have a Hunter pounce landing onto Rochelle into Spit. Just a bit of damage, but that tank is going to spawn up in the hands of Infected Minds Hernandez. We're going to see what he can do with this. He does have a Boomer already looking to land some sort of running, trying to jump in from the roof behind them.
A rocket boom.
Yes. I just bit of a senility right there.
You're in.
Completely
You're
forgot
good.
the word.
Infected
command
Minds spawns. Yeah, the tank's just playing it very slow. This is what Infected Minds does. They wait until they have a full team ready until they're all prepared. Tank looks like he's gonna commit. Should we take it to a war room?
Absolutely, we're gonna go to Infected Minds.
No te enfoques tanto en los gatos.
Sí, sí, sí. Normal. Bueno,
Nice,
uno más,
nice.
uno más. Uno más.
I can cap Ellis. I'm going for Ellis.
Go
Yeah,
for
go.
coach. Tank. Ellis. Charger, Ellis.
Nice, nice, nice. Yeah, good job, team. Good job, good job.
And we are back. I'm fairly certain this is a wipe for Infected Minds. Another heartbreaker for Yaeger Bagels. Things seem to be going so well. That boomer only managed to land a single boom onto Rochelle, I believe. The tank was getting kited around a lot. He was trying to use that car to get some wipes, but those poles from the balcony were blocking it every single time. Yeah, the pillars are... Yes. And then at the very end, the support for the tank pulled through once again. This is basically sort of a repeat of map 3. I mean, the tank, Yaeger Bagels was in such a good position to ace this tank. It wasn't a great spot, but it was a pretty good spot. And then the Infected Minds, they managed to capitalize on Yaeger Bagels' separation, their, uncoordination. That's not a word. You all know what I mean. Regardless, we are going into the finale. There is Yaeger Bagels, I mean, Infected Minds are still holding on to an 800-point lead. It's good, but not great. And this finale is just notorious for being such a coin flip. It is worth mentioning that Infected Minds, as well as they're playing today, they were playing just as well in their last match against, I believe it was Coach Dave's Academy, and they managed to lose on the Dark Carnival finale of all places. That wasn't a running event. That's a really bad place for Infected, but they did manage to lose. So nerves may be another factor that we have to consider. We do have a Hunter going in and getting killed immediately. We have our last tank for Yaeger Bagels in the hands of Sheep. Not last tank, but we have this flow tank in the hands of Sheep. He is a very good player. We're going to see what kind of things he can put together for this tank fight. We're going to take it over to a Yaeger Bagels Infected War Room right now.
Get rid of one of the hunters.
I'll go to mine.
I want a smoker.
Nice, Rob.
That's fine. This is kind of tough for me, to be honest, but I can see what I can do.
Hey, buddy, good luck.
Thanks. Can't.
I'll try to hold on.
You guys gotta go in.
Go. That's all I could do was knock him off the fence.
And we are back. That was Yaeger Bagels tanks in the hands of Sheep. Not able to get a ton out, although he did manage to in-cap control. And I just would like to point out during that tank fight, the coordination on Infected Minds was just a beauty to behold because everybody knew their job. We had Rochelle, Coach, and Ellis standing on one fence, chipping that tank down. We had Nick watching behind that truck stop, and none of the survivors even moved an inch before that tank committed. I mean, they all knew their jobs and they were all playing it so perfectly. I mean, that's teamwork right there. We can see that Infected Minds, they've clearly practiced a lot, they've scrimmed, they know their role in every area of the map, and it's just impressive, honestly.
That's what we expect to see from high-level players like this, the high-level tournament. And, that tank, I don't know how I would have handled that tank fight, frankly, but I don't know, Yaeger doesn't really seem to be able to respond to Infected Minds are doing, and it's going to be really... I'm really curious to see how Infected, like a Russian map, are just going to full-out speedrun it. We'll have to see, but Infected are going to start to spawn, and we've got a Hunter, a Jockey. Jockey tries to go in, manages to get a little bit of damage. Charger goes in as well, manages to hit Rochelle. Spitter goes in as well, and the Hunter. Looks like everyone is down, though, and that's going to be good for Infected Minds if they're able to move forward without any...
Control avoids an in-cap by literally 1 HP, but they do hand him some pills. He's going to keep trucking on through. I mean, this is sort of what I mentioned earlier. The tank fight Infected Minds handled, I mean, they handled it so well, even despite that 1 in-cap. If Yaeger Bagels is going to make anything happen, I would expect it to be during this event. Maybe if they can get some sort of separation, if Infected Minds takes 1 choke a little bit badly, but I mean, it's all going to come down to the Infected play, and so far Yaeger Bagels' Infected play has not been stellar. I'm not going to criticize them too harshly. We do have a smoke going onto Coach, trying to get it pulled into the hole. The Charger goes in, but misses. Rochelle does get hit by a Jockey in front into Spit, but they do manage to clear it. Yaeger Bagels had the right idea right there, that, you know, the Infected play, it's just not quite there yet. You know what I mean? It's just not, the spawns aren't tight enough, they're not hitting quite at the same time, and I mean, they're really paying for it right now.
Absolutely, yeah. The Charger didn't even, he just went right for a swim. He just fell right into that hole. Great dodge. Fine there. I don't know. Boomer, Hunter going in. We've got, you know, 1 more still dead. Boomer goes in, single boom onto Rochelle. Gonna be a little bit to slow him down, but again, not a whole lot. You know, Infected Minds, they're very good at clearing out their common. They know what they're doing. Hunter just chilling on top of the bridge. I think he's gonna try and wait for more Infected position. But Infected Minds, they're just pushing ahead. He's gonna have to do something.
We do have our last tank now for Yaeger Bagels, once again in the hands of Team Captain Archer. Not sure why that happened, but he is going to work his car in. I'm not quite sure if this car is an in-cap car. Given that most of the other ones are despawned, I would say it is. Looks like Infected Mind are going to take this back. The support is going to try to land something. That Hunter gets killed immediately, and Infected Minds are already shipping out this tank. I mean, look at this coordination again. They're hanging out right here in this white van, and you can see how committed they are to these kinds of strategies. I mean, Infected Minds, they must have established this already. You know, when we deal with the first tank, we're going to hop up on that roof. 3 people are going to chip the tank. 1 person's going to watch behind. When we deal with the second tank, we're going to take it right here at this white van. And I mean, the coordination is just, I really love Infected Minds play right now. I try not to be too biased, but I really love to watch this team right now.
Both are great teams, absolutely, but Yaeger, I'm just going to be honest, seem to have been doing really well with kind of lucky hits, frankly, but the tank goes in. Good hit onto Ellis. Smoker goes in. This is the type of separation we need. Smoker doing a lot of good damage to Coach. He's on yellow health right now. Hunter tries to go in, capture something. Ellis is down. Looks like it's just Nick and Coach right now.
It's all down to Archer right now. He's down to 15 HP. He's going to try to climb back up, but I don't believe that he's going to be able to do anything now. That charge is going to go in. It does manage to land on the Coach, but gets cleared immediately by Hernandez. Really good clear right there. And Archer is down. That is the final tank for Yaeger Bagels. Infected Minds taking a lot of damage, a bit more than I expected, but they still, I mean, they stuck to their guns. They stuck around this white van area, and I think it paid off for them. It is important to note there is no witch on this finale, obviously, which means that there's no chance of some ridiculous in-cap going out for Infected Minds, and I think at this point, I wouldn't call it too closely, but they've just got, you know, a fresh set of pills. Hernandez is full green health. Christian's on yellow. They've got 2 bleeding survivors. They're in a nice position to make this helicopter, and Yaeger Bagels is going to have to put something amazing together if they plan to stop them before this game slips away from them.
Absolutely. Well, again, it's Infected Minds. They're taking it very slow. They shut down the Boomer instantly. They just know it's about to drop. Looks like we've got, you know, a Spitter and a Smoker waiting on top of the bridge. They're both heading up. Looks like the Infected are going to, or the Survivors are going to be pushing ahead onto the roof. I wonder if they're going to try and flank up Infected. Looks like, ooh, Jockey goes down. Manages to take him off the bridge. That's what they needed. Rochelle trying to save him, but Smoker grabs her. And it looks like just 2 more Survivors up right now.
Once again, they had the right idea. That Jockey did manage to clip Nick very nice, but that Smoker is not in a position to get another clip for the Survivor that tries to save them. 100 lens blade for them to Rochelle, but gets cleared. That Smoker's still looking for some sort of last-second pull. But, I mean, Infected Minds, they covered that so well. Coach, you know, was staring right up there, and the rest of the Survivors were pushing forward. I mean, I would really love to have been able to hear the Infected Minds War Runes here. Of course I can't because I'm, I don't really have the internet capacity to cast and watch the stream at the same time. But I mean, I would love to hear what's going on in that war room, to see that kind of coordination. Like, do they talk about it, or are they just communicating telepathically or something? It's really impressive.
It's got
Hunter starting in the back. Absolutely. Jockey landing onto Ellis for a second, the Hunter going in. But I mean, the spawns are getting quickly disorganized, although we do have a nice double charge landing onto Rochelle and Nick. It's going to be a nice amount of damage, but Hernandez is still sitting on a nice amount of health bonus. I think Yaeger Bagels are going to have maybe one or two hits left.
No, I mean the smoker just gets shut down instantly. It's desperation plays when I think the smoker just immediately spawned in. They're trying to slow him down as best they can, but I don't know. I think they're all going to make it to the chopper. The helicopter's ready to go. I think they're going to make it. I think it's going to be the round for Infected.
There's going to be a spit going out onto the helicopter. Last second delay for them. Ellis is going to shut down that jockey immediately. We've got a boomer spawning from the back, trying to get something. It actually does manage to land onto Ellis, but no commons are going to stop them from getting into that helicopter. Great finale played by Infected Minds. I thought for a second that they may, we may see a repeat of what we had on the third map. But those commons just were not able to provide the amount of distraction or delay that I was expecting, like on the Horde event on map 2. I mean, Infected Minds, they, every single time they stopped to bait out a hit, no commons even touched them. They were clearing those commons so easily and still shutting down all of the Infected. We're going to see how Yaeger Bagels handles this finale. They are the faster team, but Infected Minds, their coordination was so impressive that they may have some really devious hits planned along this bridge.
Jockey goes in, gets shut down immediately. Hunter goes in as well. Spitter taken out as well, but does manage to spit a little bit. Looks like they're going to try and take the fence route, which is what Infected Minds did. Maybe mimicking their strategy, perhaps? I don't know. Tank just going to be chilling by the bus. He's not in a rush. He's got all the time in the world to score. It's great, so doesn't really have to worry. Looks like he's going to be waiting for other Infected to spawn in and get in position. But yeah,
absolutely. I mean, Infected Minds, their Infected coordination has definitely been superior this game. But this is a pretty bad area, no matter how good you are. Hunter does land onto Rochelle briefly. Christian throwing some rocks in there, but I mean, Yaeger Bagels can definitely skeet those rocks out. So I don't believe that we're going to see anything too crazy happen here. It's all going to come down to the coordination. Can Christian get those corners? Can his team communicate with him, tell him who to punch and when, when to switch targets and whatnot? That's what it's going to come down to in this area, because this area is very tank unfriendly.
Absolutely.
Looks like he's going to go in.
Oh yeah, he looks like he is going.
Nope.
Other jump.
Yep.
Nice bounce. Nice punch.
One more.
Nice, dude.
Good job. One more. Good job. Good damage.
That was really good.
And we are back. That was the Infected Minds tank in the hands of Christian. Yaeger Bagels took 2 in-caps. Obviously not ideal. They really need that health bonus if they were planning on winning this. I'm not sure if this game is already out of reach or not. I would think it is, but I don't want to say for certain because I don't want to, misinform anyone. What did you think about that tank fight, Techno?
I think it was better than Yaeger's tank, because they obviously did manage to get 2 in-caps compared to the 1. And I think when the tank went in to commit, again, it's just Infected Minds' classic location. They all just kind of attacked as one. The spitter play on that last survivor, I thought, while not very important, how he was already in-capped, it did slow them down a little bit, disorganize them. So it's little details that really just go to show that Infected Minds, they know what they're doing.
Absolutely. I mean, this game is quickly slipping away for Yaeger Bagels. Again, I'm not going to call it because I genuinely do not know. But it is worth mentioning, however, that this is not a knockout match. I mean, if Yaeger Bagels loses this match with 2 losses, it's going to be very hard for them to make it to the knockout round, but it's not impossible. So that's no reason to give up. A last-second charge from Pixie. Somehow she is alive. Looks like she landed right on this steel beam. Rochelle is also clipped.
Oh, well, there goes Nick as well. He's 2 infected down. Wow.
I have never seen a survivor getting kept on this area. Looks like Smoker's gonna get a clip onto Ellis. This is kind of what I was afraid of. Smoker's already looking for another pull. I mean, Yaeger Bagels are good at playing fast, but Infected Minds are also good at planning their hits clearly. I mean, disastrous. Can they even get Pixie from there? I don't think
so. How is he even still? Oh, well, never mind. And one of them just jumped down. Okay, well, that is game. That's it. Infected Mind wins Game 13 of the Maverick Warriors Left 4 Dead 2 tournament. That's, I mean, yeah, very, very great play. Taking out 3 survivors there.
Absolutely. Infected Minds showing that level of coordination. Of course, they did it on the last map, but this time it paid off. They now have a win, which puts them in a much better position to make it past the group stage than Yaeger Bagels. Of course, Yaeger Bagels are not out yet. We will see them again, and hopefully they can, improve on their team play somewhat, because I think you don't even have to watch this VOD to really see the difference in the amount of teamwork we had going out there.
I mean, yeah, Infected Minds, they were very high quality. I'm very impressed with their work, with their performance tonight. Very coordinated. They adapted to anything that was going on. When they got, of course, there were issues along the way, especially with that third map. I think best play of the game goes to Yaeger with that choker, even though I still feel like it was a lucky hit. That 2 hit, wow. And then, of course, the Infected Minds, that 3 cap in the last round that we just saw with where Nick somehow managed to cling to life from the tiny little beam. That's very close up there too, but very entertaining to watch, very, very intense.
Absolutely. This was a great first game to cast for you, Techno. I'm glad you enjoyed it. I hope to have you again here sometime. Once again, thanks go out to the tournament organizers, MavWar, for making such a great event. I'd like to thank xbye as well for streaming. Yeah, great game. I'd love to cast it. I hope you all liked to watch it, and I will be heading out.
Really, thank you all for coming out. Hope you enjoy the rest of your night or the day, wherever you are, time zones. And yeah, they're just great game overall for both. Really entertaining to watch. Hope you guys enjoyed.
See you next time.